cat fur. So welcome to the channel, to the Witchy Goth. On this Tuesday evening, just having a look in the chat. We've got Stephen. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for, I just want to say thank you to everybody for your comments today and for cheering me on with the running. I am over the moon with my result today on my running. Absolutely blown myself away. Diz, good to see you. He's the spanner of the day. Lovely to see you guys. Oh no, I didn't know that Regan was on at the same time tonight. I thought he was on later. Oh, Blummineck. Oh no.
It's currently 80.
I thought he was on later. Oh well, I'm not changing the time now, I'm afraid. So, oh dear. Well, if you're on Reagan's stream, tell him I say hello. I honestly thought that he was on later today. So, yeah. He's on again at 8. Okay, that's why, yeah. That's, you know, we need to publish our schedules, don't we? So we can, like, make sure that we don't cross over on channels and that. Because I know I've just seen an update from Tans that she's streaming tomorrow if her tooth's okay. So I don't know how that's going, bless her. I hope she's feeling a lot better. I know what it's like. I've had a couple of teeth chip in my life and had excruciating pain from them. I've had 2 removed and I've had root canals done and all sorts. Oh, thank you, Stephen. That's lovely. Thank you. It's so nice of you to stick with me. So yeah, I just thought I'd quickly go through my running today and wow, I just completely surprised myself. So hi Trip, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. I did want to ask you a question, Trip, and I can't remember what it is. It'll come back to me. It will come back to me. Oh yes, I know you, was it you that asked about the cardio stuff? Because I was going to say as well that yoga can also, cardio is very good for yoga. Yoga is very good for cardio as well. If you practice Ashtanga yoga but yoga does actually raise the heart rate, believe it or not, because you are holding positions for a long period of time, generally, when you get to that point. So yeah, let me know. I can't remember what it was that I was going to ask you, Trip, so it will come back to me. I'm sure it will. So yeah, my running today, well, I was going to do just to check that you can all hear me and see me okay. I think you can see me okay. I don't know about you hearing me okay. So if you can just let me know if the sound is okay. I'm going to have to get a new microphone. I'm trying to make a plan to do something. Hi, Validate. Lovely to see you, darling. Hope all is good. Brain today. It's because Thorn didn't come for his tea. So I might have to cut the live short because I still need to give him his blooming insulin injection. He was here an hour ago and then I went to feed them half an hour ago and now he's vanished and I've been out into the garden and I can't find him. He knows he's getting an injection, you see. So yeah, I went for my run. I was supposed to be doing my distance run yesterday, but I was so tired, I felt drained. So I thought, okay, I wasn't going to run. And then I thought, you know what, Debs, you've got this race coming up. You need to run. So I went out yesterday and I did a 5K and I actually surprised myself because I was faster than the day before. So I was like, wow, that's amazing because I felt slower. And then, oh great, thanks for letting me know that the sound is fine. Thank you. So today I did my long distance run. It's the last long distance run that I'm doing before the race on Sunday. And I only had a limited amount of time because I had to get one of my other cats to the vet this afternoon at 12 for her jabs, her vaccinations. So I thought, right, I've got X amount of time. need to run as far as I can, as fast as I can. So off I went, and I got my personal best on my 5 kilometers, which is just, I'm over the moon about that to start with. That was like, wow, I couldn't believe it, because where I run locally, there are lots of hills. It's very hilly. Hi, Elle, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. So it's very hilly. And I thought, okay, you know, because I did a sort of double loop. So I did the first route and then I added a second route on, but the same, going a lot of the same route that I do. And thank you, Stephen. Yeah, I was amazed. I was 1 hour 28 for 9.2 kilometers. As the fastest I've run since I was 42 years old, when I was doing a 10k in an hour. So I'm really pleased with myself. I can tell you now, my legs are feeling it. I've been sat rubbing them. They're going to have a nice big massage after I have finished with the live stream. So yeah, it was tough. It wasn't easy because I had extra weight, because I used my running vest, which has got the bladder in the back. So I had 1.1 litres of water in, mixed with electrolyte powder. And also in that vest I have extra tissues and food gels and painkillers and all sorts of bits. And then I also have a 300ml bottle filled with ice. That is so that as it starts to melt, I actually pour it on my head. It works, cooling the body, because it's quicker to cool the body from outside than it is from inside. So we drink the water to cool the body and obviously to replenish what we're losing through sweat. But the quickest way to cool the body is to pour water on yourself. So, and I just couldn't believe my time. Really couldn't believe my time. Hi, Mithril, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm race ready. Tomorrow's run will be a short one, probably between 3 and 4 kilometers. And then Thursday and Friday will be 5 kilometers each. Saturday will be between 3 and 4 kilometers, depending on how I feel. And then Sunday, the big day. And I am terrified because the first 4 kilometers are all uphill. It's a big mountain. It's a big mountain. I didn't realize how steep it was going to be. So the first 4 kilometers I'm going uphill, but the rest will be downhill. The next 5 will be downhill. So that's actually quite a relief. However, flats are better, because going uphill, obviously you are working on your thighs, your quads at the front, and you're keeping your knees bent a lot of the time because you are sort of digging in with your front feet. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Front feet, not your back feet. So you're on your sort of more on the ball of the foot. Whereas going downhill, you're more on your heel, still with the knees bent, but you are using your hamstrings to do that. And, you know, that can be tricky, because if you run too fast downhill, your legs do the and you end up like Scooby-Doo and fall over. It's happened to me several times running downhill. Hi, blah, blah. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. Where am I running, Mithril? From Bakewell, the Mons Trail? The Mons Trail. So we start at the Bakewell Showgrounds, and it's a 9.5k that I'm doing. There is, on the same day, there's a 15k and there's a half marathon as well. But I did want to do the 15, but I'm like, no, not ready for that distance yet. I'm still, yeah, I'm not ready for that far yet. I'd be crawling that last 5Ks. So making 10Ks my sort of main distance at the moment. I've also joined Park Run. So in October, I'm going to be starting to do the park runs on a Saturday morning. So that'll help me a little bit, I think, with pace, with getting my 5Ks faster, because obviously I'll be running with other people. I'll get hints and tips from them as well. I don't have to do it every weekend. There's no cost. It's all free. So yeah, so I'm happy about that. But it's just nice to have that sort of mix of other people. So yeah, bit nervous. If anybody is in the Derbyshire area and wants to come along and support me, because I have nobody coming along to support me, so it would be great. My race starts at 9. and I should finish it in about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, depending on the weather. If it's windy, it's going to slow me down. If it's raining, I don't know the trail, so it's going to be a first for me, because when I did Clumber the other month, I knew the trail. I'd done it before, and I run in Clumber every week. So hi Pete, it's lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. So yeah, it's been this is a big learning curve. I'm going to be up at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, getting the cat sorted. I've got a list of all the things that I need to pack the night before, to make sure that everything's ready. And I need to be there. They've said 45 minutes before the race time, but there's not very much parking in Bakewell, so I need to try and get there a bit earlier so that I can at least find parking. Otherwise, I may have to walk a few miles. So, wish you could, but you're at work. Oh, bless you. What work do you do, Blah? If you want to tell me, you don't have to, obviously. You know, it's completely up to you. So, yeah, time has flown over my training for this race, and it's sort of the last 2 weeks that I've really been focusing on my training, wrote out a training plan. And strangely, last night I decided to treat myself and I had McDonald's for tea. So maybe the extra fatty food helped me with my speed. I don't know. You're a steel worker. Fabulous. We need steel workers, don't we? Brilliant. So that's my running story at the moment. So I wanted to talk about sorry guys, I wanted to talk about an anti-migrant protester. Sorry, a load of pop-ups have just popped up on my screen. His name is Anthony, or Anthony, I'm not sure. I pronounce it Anthony because there's a TH, Styles. He's an anti-migrant protester who rallied to protect kids revealed to be a kiddie fiddler. As I said previously, that a lot of those people on the far right that are at these protests, riots, whatever you want to call them, were known to already have form for DV, SA, SV, or grape. And here we have a kiddie fiddler who is there to protect our women and girls. So this article is from the Metro. I saw it last night, so I'm going to read through the article. It's by Sam Courtney Guy. An anti-migrant YouTuber who claimed he was campaigning to protect women and children is a convicted PED. It has been reported. Anthony Styles gained thousands of followers by live streaming far-right rallies and gatherings outside asylum hotels. His channel, AJ Audits, which has since been deactivated or deleted, so we can't even go and troll him, showed him demonstrating alongside other men who claimed asylum seekers are SPs, or S predators, who target kids. The most recent videos showed rallies organised after the arrest of an Ethiopian asylum hotel resident who was later convicted of essaying a 14-year-old girl in Epping. Now, just want to stop there a second. He's been found guilty, so that's great. So he's going to have whatever sentence is given to him, whether that is deporting, whether that is sentence going into prison, whatever. And I never said that he was innocent. I said wait until the court decides, because this is a court matter and obviously we can't really discuss these things. But we need to remember that not all migrants and asylum seekers are sexual predators. Not all of them. Just the same way that not all white British men are predators. It's exactly the same. Unfortunately, we know that there will be some people who will go, see, I told you so, and that goes for all of them. And it's really funny because I got a comment on one of my posts and I never had a chance to go back and respond. I need to go back and respond, actually. And this person said, a oh, don't tar all white British men with the same brush because, you know, and so, yeah, don't tar all migrants and asylum seekers with the same brush, because there will be bad eggs in every single race around the world. That is just the way it is. But to paint them all as predators is wrong, and we know that. We absolutely know that. But what we do know and what we can see is that many of those on the right do have a tendency to have this kind of behavior. I'm not saying all people on the right, but generally people on the right tend to be aggressive, tend to be predatory in nature, and that often leads to that kind of physical abuse. So, again, I'm not saying all, but a lot, a vast majority. And as we know from news reports that we've already seen, that at least 40% of those that were rioting in last year's riots, Farage riots, were known to the police for predatory behaviour, whether that's SA, SV, DV or grape. So it is highly likely that a lot of the people that were rioting, protesting outside of the hotels, and possibly still are, I don't know, because the news has sort of drifted away from that. But those, a lot of those will be known to the police and will have similar, you know, convictions. So back to the article now. It's in the Metro, as I say. A number of children were brought by their parents to the rallies, which have seen weeks of disorder in the town. Styles from Hemel Hempstead was sentenced to 4.5 years jail in 2017 for indecently assaulting a girl under 14 in 1993, the Times reported. So it took them from 1993 to 2017 to sentence him. What, 25 years? 24 years? 24 years. That poor lass has had to wait all that time for her assaulter to actually be sentenced. This is why women don't report these things, because you have to wait so long, and in that time frame you can be healing. It is just maddening. And that he only got 4.5 years. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, all sexual predators should be given life sentences, because they don't change. They don't. There is no way that a person with that, it's not a mental illness, but with those predilections will change. They won't. They never do. During his trial, the court heard he abused the girl after she sat on his knee in a flat in Blackpool. And it just gives me the EBGBs to think of that what he did to her. In 2012, he was also convicted of assaulting a 17-year-old girl and possessing 307 indecent images of children. He was handed a 3-year community service order as a result. You see, these people need to be locked away for life. There needs to be a special place that they can go to where other prisoners can go and do stuff to them. Styles' most recent conviction reportedly resulted in him being put on the sex offenders register for life and handed an indefinite sexual harm prevention order. What does that do? What does that do? He's on the register. How many of us go and check the register? It's not clear what restrictions the order imposed, but they typically forbid or limit contact with children and the use of internet and certain devices. He has a press pass. Styles' identity was first unmasked by Stand Up to Racism activists after he made a fake press pass for himself. Styles was part of a number of social media groups where rallies were organised, including one named for the children. It is understood that he has been kicked out after information about his conviction spread online. Styles went into lengths to conceal his identity, never revealing his name online. Activists from the group Stand Up to Racism eventually saw his real name on a fake AJ audit press pass he made for himself and wore at a protest, allowing them to find records of his convictions. Lewis Nielsen, a Stand Up to Racism, told The Times, "These revelations show the far right have never cared about women's rights. They've been harbouring convicted offenders in their midst. The hypocrisy is off the charts. This man has claimed to be protecting women and girls while hiding his own convictions. That is just disgusting." And we know this. We absolutely know this. But you know what the scary thing is the people who attend these rallies and these marches, the women and children, won't know who is a predator and who isn't a predator. And that's what's scary. Back in the 200, 300 years ago, adulteresses, not adulterers, but adulteresses had to wear the scarlet letter A on their clothing. It had to be sewn onto their clothing to show that they were an adulteress. Of course, the men, you know, they were married, and they slept around, but they didn't have to wear an A. Maybe we should brand these people with a great big P on their forehead. Just saying, just an idea. Let's have a look at some comments. Sorry, just having to scroll up on my old hamster-driven PC. Sorry, bear with me. Bear with me. Whew, there's been loads of comments while I've been waffling on. Okay, here I am, back to the top. Mithril, I had to listen to some racism in the post office this morning. My chest was killing me though. Oh, yeah. I hear you. You know, do we respond to it or don't we? Because if we respond and say, you know, you shouldn't speak like that, we are then the lefty, the snowflake, the loony left, and we stand the chance of being attacked. I think I mentioned last week that there was footage of a young lad who was speaking to Sky News. You'll find the video of it on TikTok, and I think it's on YouTube as well. There were rioters, protesters. I call them rioters because as far as I'm concerned, they want riot, they want aggro. And they were outside of where he was living, and it was I don't think he was staying in the actual hotel, but he was speaking to Sky and saying that he's struggling to sleep at night and so on. And they started harassing him, and they started ragging him around and pushing him, and, you know, and he didn't even say he was a lefty. He wasn't even there to talk about the riots as such. He was there to say, look, I'm struggling to sleep at night because of this. I would be too. I would be too. And he was, you know, being harassed by these men. It's just awful what we go through as those who are, you know, anti-racist. Of those, you know, where do we stop and say, hang on? I had an incident last year where I was at a thing and lots of people I didn't know. And one of the people there quipped, oh, but we all know what a woman is, don't we? And I gritted my teeth and bit my tongue because I didn't know this person, and I knew that if I had confronted that person, I probably would have been in trouble. So yeah. When do we hold our tongue and when do we say something? It's a really difficult thing to think of. It really is difficult, especially, I mean, we can say this online because we all have usernames and, you know, people don't know who we are. However, I do go and chat on Facebook, where I do have my an account in my real name, and yeah, I've unfriended quite a few people recently, and it's sad. It is sad, but again, it's down to misinformation, and it's the misinformation that is being spread by the far right, and we all know who they are. Blah, did we hear that they chose a day there would be rail stoppages so they could claim some conspiracy? I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. Hi, Kirsty. Lovely to see you. You don't have to apologise, my love. It's really fine. We all have stuff going on and we all have lives. And you know, I didn't realise that Reagan was live streaming, so I do apologise. I should have messaged him, actually. Because I heard that he was going to be live streaming at 8, so I thought, okay, so it's my own, yeah. No doubt Reform will accept him as a prospective MP, more than likely. Pete, you just took a great big step back from online for a few days, watched endless old black and white foreign language movies and ate endless snacks, really needed it, feel better for it, would recommend it. I agree with you, Pete, absolutely agree with you. You know, that's why I wasn't doing many videos and doing live streams, because I was also sick of it and also ate a lot of snacks and stuff. I watch horror movies though, cheesy ones mostly. But I started watching one when I was having my dinner earlier on, because I ate earlier because of my stomach. And I started watching a good one. So I finished that in a bit. Oh, thank you. Stephen, I always answer with, it's the same thing in reverse. It is, which, Kirsty, thank you, lovely. Thank you. I made an effort tonight. Okay, so everybody's saying hello to each other. Blah, it's because right-wingers are all thick as F. They think the rules don't apply to them or they'll get away with it. And the thing is, the reason they think that is because they're, you know, their heroes get away with it. They do. They get away with it. And it is terrifying that they get away with it. Oh, you're raiding from the bin. Okay, I didn't realise that they were on as well. Really have to sort out with everybody, don't we, as to who's on what time, because it's so difficult when we have, you know, we all want to watch certain channels, and then, because obviously all of us need support, you know. I really need to start monetizing this channel. I'm getting to a point now where if I don't, I'm going to be in trouble and possibly living in my tents, and I mean that with all seriousness. I'm not actually joking about that. So if anybody does want to make a donation, in my description box on my channel, I think I also might have put it in the description box on here as well, I'm not sure. No, I didn't. So in my channel description, there is a link to my GoFundMe. So if anybody would like to pop in a couple of quid, I would really appreciate it. Thorne's medication is covered by his insurance. He's with Petplan. But I've had to buy a whole load of stuff to take him away with me. So I had to buy a portable sharps bin, because the sharps bin that I've got is that big, and it's like, so I bought a small one. I've got him a harness, which he's had on for a couple of days now. He doesn't really like it, but he's got to get used to it. A sling bag to put him in. I got him the big catio thing. I think you've all seen the video. And I bought like a sort of freezer kind of box thing for his insulin when we go away. So yeah, and then I've got to pay for the cat sitter as well. So any donation would be more than welcome. Thank you. Let's have a look. It's a hell of a long time for a sentence. Yeah, why the court delay? again, it's court delays. It's court delays. I don't know when he was caught. It doesn't say. I will have to have a deeper look into that. I think I'm going to do a video on that because I really do think it warrants a video, because I can put a nice title up that will rile up the right wingers, and then they'll all come and comment on my pages. The thing is, I do, when I do those type of videos that rile up the right wing, I get loads of views, and I also get loads of abuse, but that's okay. And I want to say thank you to some of you who have been standing up for me, and that I really do appreciate it. I really do. I can handle them. I'm really not bothered. It just doesn't bother me. Yeah, I've been putting up with that kind of shit my entire life. So yeah, my dad was always full of shit and always used to sort of, rag us and, make fun of us, me and my sister. And then I had a really good friend who used to do the same thing. So I'm used to it. It's water off a duck's back, and let them think what they want, because I know what my truth is. I think it comes with age. 10 years ago, I probably would have been really upset, and it probably would have really bothered me. But now it's like, oh, you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot. Billy just dropped in. Thanks, Billy. Sorry, I missed your message. Oh, hang on. I've lost comments again. Sorry, guys. It's like banning someone from driving when they are already banned. Exactly, Mithril. It is. It is like banning someone from driving when they're already banned. I mean, Kirsty, this is as bad as that Nicholas Rossi case. Only got found out because of tattoos that were noticed by nurse, extradited to America and convicted. Yeah. Yeah. Stephen, are you okay putting his name up? Absolutely. Stephen, whose name? Whose name? Is it a name of the man who was... I'm not sure what you're on about there. You can't win against idiots, but at least I've said something. Yeah, that's true. The assault on that lad, yeah, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. I saw some more footage today of a group of young people. I say young people, they could have been anywhere from late teens, early 20s. I'm really not good at telling the age of young people these days. And they were taking flags down, and they were being harassed by somebody saying, oh, why are you taking the flags down? You're wearing masks to hide yourself and blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking to myself, but the guys who put them up were wearing masks. It's this double standards, this hypocrisy. Oh, Stephen, he was your local postman for over 25 years. Shudder at the thought of him handing out sweets to kids when he was. Oh, my God. Mithril, I'm a shield nowadays, no longer quick or sharp enough to be a sword. But it's good that you are a shield. Blah, me personally stand by the belief that if I don't say something when it comes to my turn, there'll be no one there to say something. Yeah, for you. Yeah. Stephen Reagan said he's going to contact you. Yeah, he did. He did contact me, Stephen. Thank you. We are busy setting something up. So yeah, that's great. I'm really pleased about that. That's exciting. Something to look forward to. It's going to be early October. So yeah, because I've got stuff going on the next few weeks. So, and I think he sets up his lives and that well in advance. I just feel so bad that I'm live while he's live, because I know that a lot of you guys are the same viewers. So it's really, really crap. There's everyone looks young to you. Yeah, me too. I look at them and think, how old are you? You look like a kid. Especially those reform youths that have joined, that I don't know if you've seen them in the news. I don't know who did a video on them, but they all look like kids. I saw that was it. It was on Facebook. I saw a meme of them. It was a photo of them, and they were all white except for two. One, I think, was Asian. The other one was black. And it's like, yeah, there's the token. And I hate that. And they all look like they were still at school. How can they be politicians? They haven't even studied politics. So talking about reform, coming to my next topic now, I'm sure some of you will have heard, and I think Max did a video earlier on that I heard about this, but there was that doctor who was on the stage at the Reform conference who said that the vaccine possibly gave the king cancer. I really shudder at people who don't understand science and how it works, because it's really quite straightforward. They take a bit of the virus and put it into water or whatever solution it is and inject it into your body so your body recognizes that virus and knows what to do to fight it. Now, with COVID, there have been so many different strains. As happens with flu, every year it morphs into a different strain of flu because all viruses will change and grow. And that's why so many people get flu. I get the flu jab every year. I have for the past, since I was diagnosed with COPD. And I've not had flu since then. And I've had all of my COVID jabs, and I've been fine. You know, I'm now running again. A lot of people were talking about myocarditis being something that would remove people from the earth, and especially in athletes, because of the jab. The biggest unaliver for athletes is myocarditis. It's inflammation of the heart. When you are an athlete, your heart is big. It's that simple. Your heart pumps the blood around your body. And when you run or train excessively, your heart grows in size. And it happens to a lot of sportsmen and women. So that whole thing of, oh, but they got myocarditis and they were healthy. Again, it comes down to the people not understanding science of the body, not understanding the physiology, not understanding anatomy, and not bothering to learn about it either. You know, it makes me wonder, did these people actually do basic biology at school? Sorry, hang on. Anti-science agenda. Yeah, anti-science agenda. And I've got something I want to say about it in a minute. So just remind me, Diz, that just say you were going to talk about science so that I remember to talk about it. Mithril, you've got your medical appointment on Friday. Different inhalers and being sent for an ECG and X-ray. Things seem to be progressing. That is awesome. Have you got COPD, Mithril? I've got a big, it's got the spacer with it, and it's Lefurbeck, which is the one that I use. I have 2 puffs of that every day, and then I've got my blue Ventolin inhaler. But because of all the running that I've been doing, my lung capacity has increased so much. However, I do still wake up in the night coughing and wake up in the morning coughing, and it is not, you know, pretty sight. So that will be there for, yeah, I was there a couple of weeks ago actually seeing my COPD nurse, and I had, it is fun, but I've also got chronic kidney disease, you know, and that's caused by my medication. That there is nothing I can do about that. I could stop taking my meds, but that wouldn't be wise. That's for my mental health. Stephen, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm just not comfortable with them. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes it's ignorance and not wanting to know about things, Witchy. Yeah. Trimbo and Brickanil for you. Yeah. I think I had Trimbo once. I think I did have that. But they change them, don't they? Because they make new ones that are better. I know when I started off, it was something else and it was a green thing. And then I went to those egg-shaped ones. And then now I'm on this one. And I found this one to be, it really helps. So, you know, it depends on the effects that you have. The way they found my COPD was through an X-ray. I had been coughing through my running way back when I was really, really fit. And I'd had flu and it just wouldn't go, this cough. So I went to the doctor and he sent me for an x-ray, and they found COPD, that a lot of my alveoli in my chest had been killed. So yeah, that was a big sort of thing. But I think you sort of start to accept the diagnoses, and then you think, okay, you know what, I'm not going to let this kill me. I think when I watched my dad shuffling off this mortal coil, and you know, he had so many comorbidities, he had so many things wrong with him, and I just thought to myself, I don't want to be like that when I'm 80. I want to be fitter. So yeah, started running again. And it's really funny because when I'm running, I often see feathers on the path, and the feathers are pointing the way that I'm going, and I just think, that's my dad. That's my dad. They're cheering me on and saying, come on, pick up your feet, because I don't always pick up my feet properly. That's why I'm always falling over. And I just know that he would be really proud of me at the moment and the running, and especially today with the time that I did. I'm just boasting because I'm really impressed with myself. So yeah, this conspiracy theorist to peddle extremism claims on stage. This is another article from the Metro. And he ranted, Dr. Malhotra ranted about the pharmaceutical industry and King Charles's and Princess of Wales' health. He said, it's highly likely that the COVID vaccines have been a significant factor in the cancer of members of the royal family. Well, every single person on the planet has cancer in them. Every single person, it's there, it's in your body. Anything can cause cancer. A fall, banging into something, food, breathing, anything. If we knew the causes of cancer, we could perhaps hopefully eradicate it. But, and this is where I was, hang on a second. Used to work in the chemical industry, breathing in a lot of nasties when I was younger before. Yeah, probably hasn't helped either. Yeah, probably not. I used to smoke. I used to smoke cigarettes. You know, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I should have known better. My granddad had cancer of the larynx, and he used to work down the pits, and he used to smoke. So he had his voice box removed, he had a hole there, but he used to speak from his diaphragm. He didn't use one of those thingies. He spoke from his diaphragm. And I should have known. I should have known better. But, you know, you're young, you think, oh, I'll be okay. It won't happen to me. Oh, thank you, Kirsty. Doing great with the running. I'm really impressed with my running. It's blew me away today. Really did blow me away today when I got home and checked my time. I'm like, whoa, that was quick. They say trauma can cause things to develop. It can. And when I did my, oh, there's my cat. He's suddenly appeared. He'll be wanting his tea. He's going to have to wait a bit. When I was doing my Reiki Masters, well, my whole Reiki diploma, it was a few years that I did it over. Part of the training of using healing energy. Now, I know some of you are not going to believe it, and that's fine. I'm not here to preach to you about Reiki. But all illness, all disease is dis-ease in the mind. And that plays a huge part on the body. So, for example, me smoking was a mind thing. It's like I'm addicted to cigarettes, and that would then go and cause that cancer or that problem within my body. But if somebody has, stress, they are going to suffer from high blood pressure, either overeating or undereating, heart problems. There are going to be so many things that will affect that person on a physical level. And we always say that in the whole endocrine system, which is your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your thyroid, your glands, your heart, your pancreas, liver, kidneys, and gonads or ovaries, those are where the hormones travel, and they come from the brain, and that is how it spreads out into the body, which is why so many times people who get cancer of, let's say the breast, let's say somebody gets breast cancer, it will then go into their glands under the arms because it travels that way. A friend of mine had lung cancer, and he'd never smoked in his life, ever. A little bit of cancer can, you know, let's say you have cancer. My dad had liver cancer. That was what finally took him. But a bit of that liver cancer could have swam its way through the endocrine system into his lungs and caused other problems. But he had so many comorbidities, as I said, that he was, you know, there was nothing they could do. And it's horrible. But let's have a look. Anti-science. Dementia has developed after my mum had a chest infection. That's interesting. That's something that I'll have to have a look into, because we did dementia in my last module, and it is a shrinking of the brain. Let's say the brain is like that. So the brain has all of these, I'm sure you've seen pictures of brains that has all of those things like wriggly worms on it, and they start to disintegrate, basically. So the brain ends up very deformed, and certain parts of the brain are dissolving. So I'm really sorry about that. Really, really sorry about that. And it definitely can. Definitely can. I do believe that. It's awful. I'm so worried about my mum getting dementia, because her short-term memory is going. You know, she'll say the same thing to me on the phone several times, but it's her short-term memory. It's not her long-term memory. She can remember things that she did as a child. And I know a lot of it is because she's on her own. Validate, you've done Reiki too. Fabulous. Did you do Usui Reiki? What Reiki did you do? And are you going to go on to do your Reiki 3 Masters? You should. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting to have that, because you've been attuned. You've been given the Honshaze Sonen and the Seheki and the Choco Rei. So you've got those in your aura and within your body. So just get the Dokei Myo, and then you can go and teach it. Kirsty, we are all invincible when we are young. Wish I had that energy and invisibility now. I know how you feel. Ganglia. Yeah, I had a ganglia on my, on this part of my wrist. They say, a ganglion, they say that you should hit it with a book. So I did, and it went, but then a doctor told me I shouldn't have done that, but I hit it with a book and it went. So, anti-science does, yeah. Your mum is waiting for scans to determine which one of the 2 types she has, yeah. To be fair, I don't think it makes much difference. You know, different parts of the brain are affected, and, you know, it just is awful to see when it starts happening. It really is awful to see. To see that person that you love slipping away. There's a story, some of you may have heard it. A man goes to see his wife every morning for breakfast at the home that she's staying in. She has dementia of some sort. I think it was Alzheimer's. And his friend says to him, "Why do you go? She doesn't know who you are." And he said, "Because I still know who she is." And that's true. That's really, really true. So, yeah. Yes, anti-science. Yes, thank you, Diz. I'm coming back to that. You did Usui Reiki. Good. It's the best one. It's the original. Dr. Usui was the original Reiki healer. So, validate. Let us know how that progresses. And also use your Reiki on your mum as well. So use a lot of the head positions. It is a heartbreaking disease, Stephen. It really is. Yeah, one type means that there's medication and one means there isn't. And it depends on the aggressiveness as well. So let's keep our fingers crossed that she can get medication. Right, so anti-science. So why are these doctors peddling this BS? And again, it's up to you whether you take a vaccination or not. It's completely your choice. However, we have proof that vaccinations work. And we know that there's been a slowdown on the uptake of vaccinations due to all this fake information that's out there that arose during COVID. I know it existed before, but COVID was the catalyst really where it started. And, you know, I went and lived in South. In fact, I must tell you all, today is 19 years that I've been back in the UK. Couldn't believe it when I realised the date. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been back in the UK for 19 years today. Can't believe it, 19 years since I left South Africa. But when we went to live in South Africa, we had typhoid and cholera injections because, well, you know, and really glad that I did, because there was an outbreak of cholera near to where I lived and we were told to boil the water and so on. It's like, thank goodness, because it can kill you. You know, TB is rife in South Africa. A lot of the mine workers get TB and they don't take all the treatment. It's curable. TB is curable. And there are specific hospitals around the country where patients suffering with TB will go. It's passed through the sputum and they have to have a full course of medication. It's like when you take antibiotics, they tell you to take the full course of antibiotics, otherwise it'll come back and then you'll be resistant to the next, and so on and so on. So it's the same thing with TB. If you don't continue the course of medication, it will come back. And this has caused strains of TB to become untreatable. And we would have the health and safety people would have to monitor the medication of those who had TB in the company, and there was an outbreak and they actually brought one of the x-ray vans to the company and we all had to have x-rays. So that was a bit frightening. But, you know, when I look at, you know, when we look at measles, mumps, whooping cough, smallpox, you know, these have all been eradicated. Yeah, I'm going to come back to your comments in a minute, because, yeah, sorry, I just need to take another sip of water. So why are these people peddling these lies without any scientific proof? Because the papers that they refer to are on a small number of people. There's no actual evidence, whereas we have got 100 years pretty much of evidence that a lot of vaccines have worked. Polio, you know. So a British baby died of whooping cough as vaccination rates fall, and that was a week ago. That was in the Guardian. This came up and I actually wanted to talk about it before and I never got a chance to. A baby in the UK has died from whooping cough, marking the first such death in the country this year. The infant's mother had not been vaccinated against the highly infectious disease which affected the lungs and airways. This death occurred as vaccination rates among children and pregnant women in the UK, have fallen to their lowest levels in 15 years. Can be fatal for babies. And I thank the goddess that I was able to have those injections, those vaccinations, because yeah, I'm glad I'm still here. There was another one as well that just sort of scanning through this. A death of a child at Alder Hey in Liverpool had measles and died last month. 11 children in England after an outbreak of whooping cough. And we know that there's been that outbreak of measles in the States. These are all illnesses that were eradicated. And now, because people are not vaccinating their children, they are getting these illnesses. Now, I would love to ask those people, are you vaccinating your pets? Because to have pet insurance, your pets need to be vaccinated, need to have their yearly vaccinations. And if they're not vaccinating their pets, then their pets stand a risk of, passing over. So what's the difference? Mine, Goblin's just had her boosters today, for feline AIDS and all of that. Cats can pass it on so easily. Luckily, I live in an area where it's quite, I live in a village and there's a main road on the one side, but everything else is quite remote. So they vaccinate their pets, but not their kids. And I know there are people out there that will not use vaccinations, and that is their choice. However, as a child, would that child want to have a vaccination when they're older? So coming back to why there is all this misinformation about vaccinations, because of the pharmaceutical industry, because they make money from people being sick. It's that simple. People are sick, they need medication. You heal a person, they don't need medication. It's so simple. So telling people that vaccinations are bad for you means that, when you do get measles or polio or whooping cough or whatever, you're going to need medication, which is going to cost more than the actual vaccination would. It's a bit sick, isn't it? Let's have a look at some comments. Sorry. Sorry, guys, I'm just coming up to some comments. Stephen, your dog has mentioned holistic medicine, but told you on the quiet. Try it. That's all you can do is try it. And I would say, try the herbal remedies. I have used whatchamacallits before, the ones that put the drops onto sugar. I didn't really find that worked. But I do have a lot of herbs that I use for certain things, but I swear by Reiki. I treated a lot of clients who were terminally ill with cancer, and this was for my Reiki 3. And basically that was preparing them for the fact that they were going to pass over. They were not going to be cured. But I had a lady come to me when I lived in South Africa. She was a black lady, which was very unusual because that they would normally go and see a sangoma, or which is like a witch doctor, more like a shaman really. And, they weren't really aware of Reiki. And she came to me and she couldn't fall pregnant. She had cysts in her uterus. So I started treating her, and she was coming for a series of treatments. She fell pregnant, and as the baby grew, the cyst shrank because the supply to the cyst was cut off by the growth of the baby. She gave birth to the baby a couple of weeks before it was due, but I went to see her and the baby, and they were doing fine. And whether it was me or not, I don't know. Well, it's not me, it's not my energy, it's energy that I channeled. But that to me was amazing, that I was able to help in some way this woman have the baby that she wanted and get rid of the cyst. Validate, I need to have Reiki done on myself, but I'm not in the right frame of mind at the moment. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Maybe try just holding your heart chakra and your solar plexus chakra. Just holding your hands there. That's it. It's very comforting, that. Mithril, I have a friend who believes the MMR made her kids autistic. This drives me mad. She's one of the done my own research smug types. Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't cause autism. Autism is something that a child is born with. The same way that bipolar is something that a child is born with. Mithril, I've given up, Stephen. She said she didn't believe in feminism too. I told her she was a rightoid and she got offended. Well, I would tend to agree with you there, Mithril. You know, it's so difficult sometimes, isn't it, to try and be polite to people like that, because that sort of cognitive dissonance that exists. And we need to think of a better way to explain misogyny to women that are in that place. Stephen, I had whooping cough when you were a baby. You were in hospital for weeks. Wow. Validate as well. Wow. Polio is making a comeback in the US too. I'm not surprised. Stephen, you're a 60s kid. I'm a 60s kid, 69. You were in an oxygen tent for weeks. Validate. Wow. Kirsty, I had whooping cough when pregnant just after I got over morning sickness. Blooming heck. Turin, hello. Greetings from Brixton. Lovely to see you, Turin. Thank you for joining. Stephen had mumps as well as chicken pox. My poor mother. I had chicken pox. I still have a scar in my eyebrow from it. Yeah, that wasn't a nice illness. And now I just get bitten by fleas. Look at my arm. Flea bites all over my arm. I don't know if you can see them there. Lots of flea bites. Mithril, I got given the pneumonia vaccine on Friday, felt groggy as hell, but it's reassuring to me. I had my pneumonia vaccine and it didn't bother me at all, but I have had pneumonia before, so I know what it's like, and it is not a nice illness. I was very, very sick. I actually missed 52 days of school during that time of having pneumonia. Have I read Lyle Watson's books? I have, actually, quite a long time ago. Bach Flower Remedies, they're good, yes. You remember when ICI was a nationalised company, they made huge investments in research, were a world leader. Yeah, I remember ICI, the company used to be round the corner from where I lived in Doncaster. Validate in your 30s when you had chicken pox. Wow. And the thing is as well, chicken pox later in life becomes shingles, which I've also had, which is incredibly painful. It's awful. It really is awful and can make you very, very sick. And I know that they are offering shingles vaccinations now for older people. And if you are an older person and you do get a chance, take it, because getting shingles is not nice. I had it all on the left side. It's like related to stress and nerves, and it was all on the left side, and it itches, but it hurts. It's really bad. Lyle Watson's books, yes, I have read them. Elle, you've been distracted. It's okay. You did notice Pete earlier. Oh yeah, he's still here. He's still here. So yeah, it is this fake information that's out there is so that the pharmaceutical companies can make more money, because if they cure cancer, then there's no more need for chemotherapy or radiotherapy. So what are they going to make money from? And it's saddening that this world is a capitalist world and that people buy into this. And studying psychology, we look at a load of research papers, and we have to be able to look at it with an open mind and see, okay, how is this relevant to what I'm studying now? How old is the research? How many people were researched on? How was it done? So the whole method, the whole way that research is conducted. So I don't think I could have an opinion on the COVID vaccine and say, yeah, it causes this, that, and the next thing, because COVID's only been around for a few years. So there isn't enough data from which to draw that information. And we know COVID initially, when it came out, if you got a really strong, heavy dosage of that COVID from other people, I can't remember the name for it now, there's a specific name, you would become very ill. Whereas over time, those that were very ill were not giving that out because they were ill in bed or in hospital, and the effect of it became less and less, but now obviously it's mutating and changing. I mean, I've had COVID. Luckily, I was okay with it. I was tired for a few days. I had really bad sinuses and headache, but no coughing, thank goodness, and no sore throat. Well, I had a bit of a sore throat, but so that was, I felt lucky to just have those symptoms because of my COPD. If I had have gotten COVID back at the beginning, I may not be sitting here right now. I probably would have already moved on. Viral load, that's the term I'm looking for, viral load. So if you get a huge viral load of something, of an illness, your chances of getting that and it, reacting in your body in a strong way are much higher than if you only get a small viral load. So let's say with COVID, somebody coughs in your face and they've got COVID, and all of that sputum is going to go into your face and you breathe it in, that goes into your body. So you've inhaled quite a lot of that virus. Whereas if somebody has got a mask on, and I know that masks are not 100% and so on and so on and so on, but if you've got a mask on, it stops that huge viral load from being spread. You've got a mask on so you don't get that massive viral load. That's the science behind it. But again, it comes back to the whole, does it have a patent number, Stephen? Because I remember doing a lot of research back at the beginning of COVID. I saw it coming in the December. I remember I ordered masks online and I told my mum and dad to get masks and my sister to get masks. And that was before it was even sort of, before Doris did his stupid thing. Because I remember seeing documentation about a patent number for COVID, but was it fake? That's all I'm saying. Was it fake? Because I also followed a group called Wuhan Warriors that were in Wuhan at the time, and they were all obviously in there, and there were English people as well, and they were all obviously in isolation and in lockdown. And they were all trying to figure out, was this, a mistake? Was this real? And I mean, apparently now it's turned out that it was accidentally released from the lab and so on. Was it an accident or wasn't it an accident? Who knows? Who knows? Will there ever be any, true finding on it? Probably not. But what we do know is that COVID exists, it's real, and it can kill you. And it depends on the fitness in your own body and the amount of viral load that you get. Sorry. Oh, I've missed a whole load of comments here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Validate, I was in my 30s when I got chicken pox, said that. ICI, Bach flower remedies, turmeric, apple cider vinegar and cracked black pepper for colds. Yeah, that's always a good one. Witchy, Red Lyle Watson. Yep. Sorry, guys, I am just scanning through these. Shingles vaccine. Yeah, there is a shingles vaccine. There is a shingles vaccine now as well. Always a remedy, never a cure. Again, money. Money talks. Money talks. And that is capitalism. I had chicken pox to the extreme. Couldn't measure 1 centimetre apart. Wow. I had pneumonia about 20 years ago. Not nice. Yeah. Yes, and Big Pharma won't relinquish them, Stephen. I'm not sure. Is that about the patent number? Stephen, I'm sure my antiviral medication helped me through COVID. HIV has a patent number as well. Well, HIV is an interesting one. I had a friend who passed over from HIV back in the early days, and this was in South Africa. Bless him, he was a lovely lad. I knew him from when we were kids, and because at first, when it came out, of course, it was known as GRIDS, wasn't it? Gay Immune Deficiency Syndrome, or Gay Reactive Immune Deficiency Syndrome. They thought it was just gay people that were affected with it, and it was very rife in the gay community. But if I remember correctly, didn't it come from North Africa? And it was from monkeys and possibly people doing things with animals that they shouldn't have been doing, and the airplane pilots took it to the States with them. Now, also, if I remember rightly, Professor Graham Addison, I know his son, I remember reading an article by him in Longevity magazine that was talking about how it probably got passed on to humans by the synthesis process of using monkey kidneys to filter. Which vaccine was it? Was it polio? I think it was possibly polio vaccine, because they didn't have something at the time. I could be wrong. But I'll actually look that up and maybe do a video on that. Your BFF had COVID. You spent close quarters over 10 hours. She got hit hard with COVID, vaccinated. I didn't get it. I tested every day before seeing my mum. See, some of us didn't. So you were vaccinated. You know, again, it's, you know, the fear on the gay scene in the 80s was so thick you could feel it. It changed gay society in a huge way. You were diagnosed in 1988. Stephen, I didn't know you had AIDS. I am HIV. I am so sorry. But you're still with us. And isn't it, I don't know if this is true, but I was reading something the other day that the medication that you can get now can actually, I don't know if it can cure it, but it can prevent it. And I would believe in Africa, they were giving a medication to the mothers so that the babies didn't get it when they were born, so that when the babies were in the womb. You drank Dettol, okay. You didn't drink bleach then. Not like the orange one told us to. Guys, it's 7:12. I have to go because I need to feed my cat and give him his injection. He's a bit late tonight. But thank you for being with me tonight. I've really enjoyed it. I will hopefully be coming live again on Thursday. Sunday, I don't know yet because it's my race. And if I am not, if I'm not feeling up to it, I won't do a live. But then again, I mean, I ran 9.2 kilometers this morning and I'm fine. So, but it's going to be pushing myself to the extreme on Sunday. So yeah, you're non-detectable so it's non-transferable. That's brilliant. So they've come a long way with that awful disease. And my mate, he was, he got married to Jack. This was in South Africa, and Jack had HIV when they met, and Darren got it, and yeah, it was awful. It was awful. Bless him. Bless him with love and light. He was such a nice bloke. And before he came out of the closet, he dated my sister for a while. So that's how close we were. And he was a massive fan of Susie and the Banshees. So we used to go round to his house. This is when we were all in school, kids about 13, 14, 15 years old. And we'd have parties and all listen to music. And it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So he's missed. He's very much missed. Right, I am on my way to go and feed my cat, who's probably sat outside the door at the moment. Have a fabulous, fabulous evening. Enjoy tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Blessed be. Mwah.